Well, here as we head into the Friday, right before 2 weeks since the winter storm came down all around us, you've been slipping and sliding. So at school buses and mail carriers in some Louisville neighborhoods, they still haven't seen mail in days. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. Well, here are some of the reasons why. Take a look at the Metro snow map. A lot of red and yellow plowed streets there, but we're zooming in right now on an untouched part of the county near Condor Avenue.
There it is, a little red dot there, and here's the street for you. While the Postal Service works through its backlog, our Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Connie Offit share one mail carrier's request to help them and help you.
Delivering mail on Louisville's untouched streets. Dave Castle's back on the job after a week recovering from frostbite.
On both hands. Yeah.
What did it feel like?
Oh, it stings and it burns.
Untreated roads sting too. Valley Station is full of them, like Condor Avenue.
We're just so short-handed, and it's just the mail is. You can tell, mail is just everywhere. But we're trying. But like I said, just customers have got to work with us.
Without a metal shovel, it's a lot harder now that the snow has turned to ice. So we busted out some extra tools. And when it's all said and done, you want about 5 feet between the mailbox and the spot that you cleared out. That way the mail trucks don't get stuck when they pull over on the side of the road. Since the winter storm blew in, the Pleasure Ridge Park Post Office has been busy. Postal trucks scramble out the back. Inside, people pack the lobby looking for their mail.
I don't have a problem coming over here. You know, even though I stood in line for an hour for them to tell me they didn't have it. Everybody waiting on W-2s. I'm waiting. That's why I was coming, because I need my W-2s.
Letitia Kelly came for the mail that Castle delivered an hour later.
They don't realize these things are real light-headed.
So until we thaw, carriers like Castle want your help getting traction. In Louisville, Ian Hardwitt for WHAS11 News on your side.
So I do want to say real quick, Connie, that Ian right there, he didn't do that just for TV. He actually cleared the woman's icy concrete area around from the homeowner's mailbox there. So
that's the reason he was out of breath.
Good job. Yeah, that's why he is. He's not out of shape.
Well, this weekend will mark 2 weeks, if you can believe it, since the winter storm.
And across Metro Louisville, trash is piling up, cans sitting outside on very slick streets. One homeowner in the Beachmont neighborhood of the South End has been waiting weeks for his garbage and recycling to be collected. His neighborhood is still full of ice and snow. Larry
Graves says the last time his garbage was collected was back on January 15th, and he knows this because he's kept a list of those missed pickups.
It's aggravating, and it's disheartening. You know, you pay your taxes, then they don't want to do the work.
Well, a public works spokesperson says some of those cancellations were due to waste management staff members being moved to the snow team.
And tonight, Metro Public Works is urging you, if you live in the city, to download the Recycle Coach app to receive notifications, to get your trash updates, and to keep calling 311. Well, our favorite thing came down out of the sky today, Connie, grapple. Don't you just love that?
It's so weird. Like, I could hear it on the roof, so I knew it was either grapple or sleet. I wasn't sure which one because I didn't actually go out.
That's right, Mallory. You love grapple. And so how much grapple covered Kentucky?
Not enough to measure, but enough to make some noise. Yes, I was hearing it this morning as well. Grapple is the one that looks like Dippin' Dots, whereas sleet, it has more jagged edges. So they're both some sort of ice pellet, and that's pretty much what we got here in the Louisville metro area. There was a short period of time this morning where we also had some light freezing rain, but thankfully that switched over to sleet pretty quickly. Temperatures this afternoon warmed up quickly into the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees. But take a look at this. We have a secondary front that's going to be rolling through here. Our winds are changing now, coming in from the north-northwest and gusting up to about 30 miles per hour. So these temperatures will drop this evening. We'll feel it even more so really early tomorrow morning as we do get those overnight lows in play. 39 in Louisville, 46 down in Bowling Green, 35 in Indianapolis, 32 in Cincinnati, where they had more of just the plain old snow today. So that Clipper system brought areas like around Louisville and down to the southeast, a wintry mix, better chance for snow really around Cincinnati, into eastern Kentucky, and down into West Virginia and Virginia. Your hour-by-hour futurecast through this evening, we will hold the chance for a few spotty snow showers. These could be kind of snow burst-like showers where they're very isolated in nature, but those that see it could see a quick coating of snow. This takes us through midnight tonight and also lowers visibility at times as well. Expect those lows to dip down into the upper teens to lower 20s. We are going to have a bit more sunshine tomorrow, but we're not going to warm up above freezing. We'll talk much more about our chilly weekend forecast. That's coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Melanie. More top stories here at 5. A second teenager arrested today in a December shooting that left a 20-year-old dead. 20-year-old Milton Ritchie was found shot to death outside of a car in a ditch on Fort Haven Road. This is now the third person charged in this case.
Well, LMPD arrested a 14-year-old girl and 19-year-old Deontes Hodges Jr. And now a third person, a 17-year-old boy, was arrested. Police believe the girl lured Ritchie as part of a plan to steal his car. All three are charged with murder.
Here tonight, over 18,000 Kentuckians are now approved to use medical cannabis legally. And Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear wants to allow more patients access to this program.
Governor Beshear's office is asking legislative leadership to include 16 more conditions in the list of those qualifying medical conditions to get a cannabis card.
Our Alexandra Goldberg is here right now with more on what the governor is talking about. Alexandra?
Right. Well, currently there are 6 qualifying conditions, including cancer and PTSD. Now, if new legislation is passed, it could bring the total qualifying conditions to 22, which the governor says could open the door for thousands of Kentuckians to qualify for a medical cannabis card. The Beshear administration is asking Kentucky lawmakers to add 16 more medical diagnoses to the list of conditions that could qualify a Kentuckian for a medical cannabis card. Crohn's, arthritis, and Parkinson's disease are among those on the list.
Very excited that Governor Beshear is advocating for these patients, and hopefully the General Assembly will follow.
Dr. Jeremy Hazley is an anesthesiologist and certified medical cannabis practitioner, meaning he can approve patients for a medical cannabis card. He says adding diagnoses like HIV, ALS, and other terminal illnesses is necessary.
A lot of the diagnoses that the governor is looking to add also include just malnourishment, and the appetite stimulation that medical cannabis can provide can certainly change a lot of the way that these patients are being treated.
Governor Andy Beshear speaking at a news conference Thursday, saying Kentucky should follow other states.
In most other states that have a medical marijuana program, these are conditions that are covered, and they are conditions that our board of physicians and advisors have recommended as proper.
He says expanding the list could help provide relief to about 430,000 Kentuckians that don't currently have access to medical cannabis. Dr. Hazley says that's thousands who could turn to cannabis as an option for treatment rather than opioids.
Obviously, diagnosis like chronic pain, these patients have been on chronic opioid conditions and suffer the side effects, whether it's the constipation or even including addiction.
He says he often hears from patients suffering from these 16 conditions. Some have already qualified under diagnoses such as chronic pain, or 5 other diagnoses that currently permit Kentuckians to buy cannabis legally.
A large majority, even with the limited access that they had over the past year, are incredibly thankful.
Now it's up to the Kentucky General Assembly with a Republican majority to decide if they'll draft legislation this session. In Louisville, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS11 on your side. We reached out to House and Senate GOP leadership for a response to the letter. A spokesperson for Senate Republicans says they are not commenting on the proposal at this time. Doug, Connie.
Alexander, thank you so much. A statewide effort aimed at keeping young people drug-free just secured millions of dollars in brand new funding.
It's called the Better Without It program. Now, the campaign targets Kentuckians ages 13 to 26 using social media, streaming platforms, and athlete partnerships to promote a substance-free lifestyle.
Commission members say prevention plays a critical role alongside enforcement and treatment, especially as overdose deaths continue to impact families statewide.
This is an initiative that I sit here advocating on behalf of as the Attorney General, but also as the dad of 2 adolescents and a 6-year-old that is trying to raise them in this zero margin of error environment. They're all taking our kids' lives the same way. And so what benefits in one space, thankfully, is assisting us in the other.
Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman speaking there. Leaders emphasize early intervention as a key strategy to protect Kentucky families. The commission approved nearly $6 million to fund youth-led events and community outreach.
One of the Kentucky Republicans competing for Mitch McConnell's Senate seat was campaigning for your vote here in Louisville today.
Republican Congressman Andy Barr of Lexington talking to a dozen veterans in Valley Station at a local Veterans of Foreign Wars post there. Barr turned heads this week when he endorsed the Trump-backed primary challenger of his colleague and fellow Kentuckian, Republican Congressman Thomas Massie.
Massie, of course, clashes with Trump, voting against some of his policies.
Was this for Trump's endorsement, bottom line?
Look, the bottom line is, this is not personal. This is not personal with me and Thomas. I believe we need America First members of Congress who will stand by their word and be for President Trump's agenda.
Again, Andy Barr endorsing Ed Galrine. Now, many Republican operatives believe a Trump blessing will seal the primary. The other high-profile Republicans in this race, Daniel Cameron and Nate Morris, are also working hard to win the president's support.
Barr stressed that Jefferson County matters in this race. The county has long voted Democrat, but has shifted a bit more conservative in the Trump era. Well, a large group of animal lovers is fighting back against a controversial city ordinance here in Louisville.
That ordinance has the potential to force those owners to get rid of their animals. Councilmember Jennifer Chappell called residents to the South Central Regional Library for a town hall in reference to an ordinance that required all dogs and cats in the metro to be microchipped. That ordinance passed last October, but the wording of it is putting pigs, goats, horses, and more animals at risk of being removed from homes across Metro Louisville.
And one man who spoke is with Butterfly Valley Animal Rescue and Sanctuary in Louisville. He said the old language provided clarity, and the new language is causing confusion.
We're asking the city to restore the ordinance language pertaining to goats, sheep, mini pigs, and mini horses to its prior form. The language already allowed the city to enforce animal welfare in regards to the restraint requirements that are in place.
Now, ahead of the meeting, Chappell said the ordinance changes, quote, were not made maliciously, but we understand the frustration and concern they've caused, and we are committed to fixing it.
Streaming now on WHAS 11 Plus, The Powers That Be. It's our new political show from WHAS 11 News. Congressman Morgan McGarvey is one guest. His answer about Andy Beshear running for president, possibly. Plus, UK's veteran political expert gives us Beshear's chances if he were to get into that race. You can watch episode 1 on your smart TV anytime. Right now, download WHAS 11 Plus for free.
And we are expecting another cold night ahead with those overnight lows dipping down into the teens to lower 20s. We have that long-awaited warming trend, however, next week. I'll let you know which day we'll be getting close to 60 degrees. That's coming up in our 7-day forecast. Here's a look at today's Kentucky Lottery jackpots. Mega Millions, $346 million. Powerball, $102 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.